How do you do it? How are you so prolific and in so many genres? You're a novelist, poet, playwright, essayist, publisher, the list goes on.
I think I get inspired by events around me, and that's sort of like the engine that drives my writing. I read 3 or 4 newspapers in the morning, and then I go on cyberspace and read other newspapers and magazines, and sort of get involved in some of the topics of the day. Like, for example, the primary that's happening now. I've written 2 or 3 articles for Counterpunch about various phases of the primary, and now I'm trying to get somebody to send me to the Democratic Convention, which is going to be historic, to cover that.
Fantastic. You're also certainly a champion of small presses and journals.
Absolutely.
Yourself, you're a publisher, editor,
yes.
Contributor. It seems also, you even said tonight, my job is to service younger writers. Mm-hmm. Do you see what you do there with the smaller presses as journal as lending?
Oh yeah, I was very much, there are 2 models that we had when I, as a 20-year-old or 22-year-old, went to New York City. There was one token who was very famous and who believed that he should beat down the competition from the younger generation, and there was Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was responsible, the great poet, was responsible for my being published, for my first novel being published. And I mean, that's many years ago. And I was 26 years old, 27, something like that. My novel was published when I was 29. And he lived in Harlem. He lived right there among the people. He didn't live on the Upper West Side or, in the south of France. So I lived right in the ghetto, in the neighborhood. And I'm able to correct, some of the opinions and observations of those columnists and commentators who don't live there and feel they know what's going on. And I'm able to see things up close, whereas they know as much about the inner city as we know about the landscape of Saturn or something. So, and I also am like Langston Hughes in the sense that he assisted younger writers. He was our mentor. So that's why I've been assisting writers since late 60s.
So it's not just a new focus?
Oh, no, not at all, not at all. As a matter of fact, this is something you might be interested in. I'm publishing a book by a woman whose first book I published, 1974. It's Allison Mills. Her book was praised by Toni Morrison, the Nobel laureate, and by William Denby, the great writer. And then she retired. I mean, she went into seclusion or raised a family, raised 5 children, and now I'm publishing her new book 30 years later, 30 or so years later, which is called Maggie 3, which is about a character who has a career that parallels hers. Was an avant-garde singer, with some of the avant-garde musicians and all that. And then all of a sudden became a born-again Christian. So over 30 years.
Quite the transformation.
That's right. So we're publishing a new book called Maggie 3.
Wonderful. Yeah, you've stayed in touch, and she's been part of your community.
And on Thursday we go down to, we publish a lot of women writers. We go down to San Jose, where 4 of my published writers are going to be making a presentation at the Langston Hughes room at the library down there. And it's one is called, Carla Brundridge, who's a very, very excellent writer. My daughter, Tennessee Reed, Bodiva, who was a Haitian writer, and Nellie Moody, who was a woman I met when I had a chair down at San Jose. She's in my fiction or poetry class. She was so good. I mean, good writers can come from anywhere, as you know, on Red Room, right? So Nellie Moody, she's going to be there. I published her book.